Hello, YouTubers. This is noobifier. It's actually a really good show today. Nothing worth punching chairs over. On the 28th of June, 2024, there was an hour-long Star Citizen Live game dev level building. Jared was on a tear today. Here's what you need to know. Today we had members from the level building team. Game dev is when a developer disconnects their PC, puts it onto a little cart with wheels, and wheels it into the only constant, otherwise known as Jared's studio. We had Yort and Nick. Yort is a mission designer. Siege of Origin and quality of life bug fixes have been his focus lately. And Nick is part of the economy team and is focused on player rewards and balancing the economy, obviously. 324 will have improvements in the economy game loops, and hopefully we would hear about that today. This week they would show a preview of an updated cargo hauling mission. So your regular pick up, move, deliver, get paid is what you normally have. And then Jared called out some parts of the community and broached the subject of their feedback with the statement that they would probably or have already punched out several chairs today, and that they might punch out that chair again for at least one more week because of the schedule.
And you'll see some examples of those missions in action in ISC in 2 weeks from tomorrow. Next week's show is another experiment that'll definitely make some people punch the chairs. And then we're back to normal stuff the following week. And that's
moving on. They started by showing off the hierarchy that's needed to be planned to achieve the missions. Where stuff would come from, how stuff would need to be collected, if the stuff needs to be processed, if the stuff can be sold unprocessed, and what type of players might want to perform that mission. Very detailed and not limited in any way to a specific path. They talked us through an example mining mission, speaking about how many missions may still have numerous ways to achieve them, but that is somewhat diminished in this case because it's still a basic point A to point B mission. Using Dataforge, they set to work to make the new mission. The drop-downs looked super complicated, but we all know what this type of system and how easy it becomes to navigate after a couple months of using it, right? It seemed to be very easy for the developers to navigate. Like, they knew where everything was. Many of the details were pre-filled in for this new hauling order, and it was up to Nick then to work out the money parameters for the mission. EVR is effort versus reward. The point is to calculate how much work the player would need to do to get a certain amount of payout. Time is a major component, risk, and all of the other ones that you're already thinking about are also components. The grade of the mission changes how much the proposed EVR favors you. The grade is based on your reputation, which you can obviously cultivate to reach a higher and more favorable EVR mission. They then confirmed poop hauling, having to do with agriculture, so if that's what you want to do in game, if you want to move poop around, I suppose that's good news for you. The ranks from 0 to 6 were listed for the difficulty or reputation required. They have a tool that helps to set the basic metrics. They entered entry as a limit, and the mission would be to move 80 to 112 SCU. The tool had a drop-down for combat yes or no as part of the main plan, but combat could obviously still happen because of the type of universe that we're building. The tool had a drop-down for difficulty. The tool had a drop-down for if docking and quantum would be required as part of the mission. With that, the tool outputted a projected payout to minute, and this helps the mission designer tweak the mission. Changing the drop-down changes in real time what the proposed payout ratio is. And then Jared emphasized that viewers should not try to use our own player experience to try to calculate the ratios of this new mission because all of the parameters are changing for 324. So he says all of the numbers are just numbers. Don't worry about it. By adding more threat and risk, the EVR calculator suggested that the proposed mission was no longer a rating of 0 or 1, but more like a 2 or 3. By adding more people, that also changes the EVR, and this is all anticipated by the calculator. With all of this work done, they moved back to the mission building system known as Dataforge. They plugged in the numbers, knowing that the new hauling mission would have a payout comparable to others. They booted up the new mission in Engine to test it, and within the MobiGlass you can see all of the regular details. There's a new preview panel which helps you decide if you have the required gear or time, and then of course there's the accept mission button. They spoke about how the legacy framework of guide documents and tables will eventually be automated like the EVR tool to speed things up and prevent errors, and they swore that sometime in the future we would get an opportunity to play out the whole mission live with Jared and them. That's it. Thank you very much for spending your time with me. Fly safe, and I'll see you in the verse.